Welcome to you, mighty seeker of the law. This is Legal Philippines.
Jewish law.
Why do you need to bother about Jewish law that dates back to nearly 4,000 years in the past? Moses was born around 1,500 years before Christ. He is considered the most important Jewish prophet. According to the biblical account, Moses was called by God to Mount Sinai to receive the divine law. At the heart of the divine law is the Ten Commandments, written with the finger of God. After having received the divine law, Moses is reputed to have written the first 5 books of the Bible, though most academics now believe they had many authors. These books are also collectively called the Torah, or the Law of Moses. An example of a commandment in the Torah is Exodus chapter 20 verses 9 to 10. 6 days you may labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God. You shall not do any work. The Torah commands not to work on the Sabbath. But one might ask, is baking a cake classified as work? Is writing a letter classified as work? Is cutting fabric classified as work? These questions need clarification, so an oral law which answers these questions and further explains the reasons for these answers was developed. In the 2nd century, the oral law was compiled and written down by Jewish rabbis. This written form of the oral law is called the Talmud. The 23 marble relief portraits over the gallery doors of the United States House of Representatives depict historical figures noted for their work in establishing the principles that underlie American law. At this point, it is relevant to note the similarities of the Jewish legal system and the modern legal systems of the United States, and most importantly, the Philippines. Just as the Torah serves as the basic law of Judaism, the 1987 Constitution serves as the organic law of the Republic of the Philippines. Just as the provisions of the Talmud must implement and conform to the Torah, provisions of Republic Acts likewise must implement and conform to the 1987 Constitution. Any divergence is stricken down as invalid. All 22 look towards the full-face relief of one historical figure in the center of the north wall, Moses. The full-face relief of Moses in the center of the north wall of the United States House of Representatives is a recognition of the influence of Jewish law on American law. Since the Philippines was under the legal system of the United States for 48 years, Jewish law, apart from the impact of Spain and Catholicism, influenced Philippine law through American law.
Happy to state that the Constitution submitted to me on behalf of the Philippine Constitutional Convention for certification under the Tidings-McDuffie Independence Act conforms with the provisions of the Act. The members of the Convention are congratulated on the satisfactory completion of a task so important and so significant in the life of their people. In the event of ratification of this Constitution, the authority granted to the Commonwealth Government will permit exercise by the Filipino people of general control, subject only to a few important exceptions of their local affairs. So, Senor Quezon, I congratulate you.
Mr. President, I want to express to you the thanks of my people and of everyone of us.
Buhay ang Pilipinas!